Welcome to the show, you guys. This is Eric Nam, and this is an episode of I Think You're Dope. And today we have two great friends.
Dope.
That's a huge compliment.
Yo.
No one's ever called me dope
I feel
before.
I think
cool
you're
now.
dope. That's why you're on the show.
I feel like English people just by default cannot be dope.
What? Why?
Wait,
I
we
think
don't
English
get away
people
with
are so
dope.
dope.
Really? Prince William? Is he dope? He's not dope.
Yeah. Eddie Redmayne. I don't think anyone has ever described that man as dope.
He's many things, but he's not dope.
He's he's cool.
We'll take it. We'll take it.
He's
though.
cool.
Cool,
take it
cool
back
like an
now,
handle.
Eric.
He's
We're on the
cool.
show.
I think you guys are dope. So before we
Fantastic.
get into why you guys are dope, I'm going to go ahead and introduce you guys. So today we have my friends Josh and Ollie of Korean Englishmen.
Wow.
They're Englishmen, but they do a lot of stuff in Korea. And so they have a channel called Korean Englishman. In Korean, it's called 영국남자. And so, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Eric.
Thank
Thanks
you
for
very
coming.
Thanks
much.
for having us.
I'm excited to have you guys here.
Yeah, we're excited to be here. This is our first podcast.
Ever?
Ever.
Wow.
We've
Is that true?
Yeah.
That is true, huh?
We've talked a lot about doing one ourselves.
You should.
But, you know, I don't know. We talk about a lot of things.
You never get around to it.
If you were to do a podcast, what would it be?
We'd probably call it like, I think you're dope or something like that. I don't know what we do. We were thinking about doing some kind of a commentary podcast because the most recent series that we did on our YouTube channel just had so much went into making it happen. We did it on a Korean military base with a British army soldier. And we had to get military approval.
It was just
from
a lot.
both militaries.
It was a lot.
Oh, wow.
So we were like, it'd be kind of interesting to talk about it, but then it just sounds really self-indulgent.
Does.
So,
Well, we
It's
have some
a bit
great
boring.
ideas for you. We'll talk to you about it after the show.
Brilliant.
Because we're all about podcasting here.
okay.
Fantastic. A jolly cast.
But
Needs
yeah,
to
the
happen.
Jolly Cast, it can be
We've
really
already got a
cool.
name.
Yeah.
We've already got a name. We
It's
don't
perfect.
take 7 episodes. to come up with a name. It's just that.
I'm sorry. I'm very indecisive.
Yeah.
We went through like 15 names. And then they were like, you need to come up with that. And they're like, I think you're dope. I was like, all right, I'll take it.
All right.
Awesome.
We'll go with it.
Dope.
So we always like to start off with a bunch of facts that our producer and writers like to throw on our wonderful fact sheets.
Okay.
So full name Josh Carrot. Do you have a middle name?
I do.
What is it?
My first name is actually Joshua.
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 Oh wait, I do
My
know this.
second name, my middle name. You know my middle name?
I feel like you told me. I'm gonna drink
Maybe.
it.
It begins with a D, but it's not a common D name.
Please do share.
It's Daryl.
Oh, Daryl.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's normal.
In America.
Yeah. Is it? Is it
Yeah,
normal in America?
It's more normal in America.
The only person I know called Daryl is, other than the guy from The Office, he's Daryl.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Other than that guy is my dad. So in England, it's quite common, I think, to get either your dad's name or like your uncle's name.
Okay. Well, Joshua
Or your
Daryl
grandfather's name.
Carrot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Joshua.
You were born in England, obviously, I think.
I was in
You were
Brighton, yeah.
In Brighton.
hmm
And when you were 12, you moved to China.
I did. Yeah, you guys have done your research.
We
Wow,
did our
good.
research.
It's good.
I'm sure it's a great Wikipedia page that has everything.
Yeah.
So you were in China, and that's when you were introduced to Korean culture
Indeed, yeah.
through your classmates and
Mhm.
friends.
Yeah, the school I went to was like 90% Korean students.
Oh, really?
Mm.
That's cool. So
Threw me in the deep end.
there you go.
Yeah.
And then you ended up studying Korean, right?
I did, yeah, university.
That's not a normal, I mean, I guess it's more common nowadays,
Yeah, now. Back then.
but
it
not
wasn't.
when you were doing it, but you were just, I'm going to do Korean.
Yeah, what was weird is I was in Qingdao, which is like 1 hour plane ride from Korea.
Right.
And then I flew back to London to study Korean.
Right. You
in
could have just
London.
come here,
I could have done.
but you did, yeah.
that would have been way too easy.
Too easy.
So I went all the way to London
Uh-huh.
and studied Korean there at like probably the only school. I think maybe there was 2 universities
Uh-huh.
in like Europe or something that did a Korean
Uh-huh.
degree.
Right.
And so I did that. There was I think 7 people in my class, maybe like 9, including people who were doing double majors.
Okay.
And that was our whole year of Korean majors.
That's great. And
It was surreal.
And it's
Yeah.
clearly paid off.
Yeah.
You're doing
It's
very
worked
well.
out. It's worked out.
Okay, and then you and Ollie met at uni.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, we were saying this just before we recorded this. We went to this college called SOAS.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the smallest colleges in the University of London. There's like, when we went, maybe 700 undergraduates.
That's tiny.
And just over 1,000 postgrads. And we were undergrads. And we met on the first day. Love at first sight.
Okay.
In my memory, I just remember
Well.
Josh bouncing towards me in slow motion.
Really? Okay.
And, the rest is history.
That's I love that perspective. Now let's see how true it was. Josh, what was your take on that?
Yeah, I mean, so I was with, you know how anyone who's been to university, or I guess anyone moved to a new place for the first time, and no one knows anyone. We're all kind of just clueless, all being a bit awkward. And some random guy comes up to me out of the blue, quite confidently. Says, "Hi, my name's Ollie. I don't have any friends. Do you want to be my friend?" And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Very forward.
This is Ollie, yeah. Hi. And I went to shake his hand, and he was like, "Ooh, sorry, got sweaty hands.
Yeah.
Very sweaty hands. You
Yeah.
probably shouldn't do the handshake."
I would say
That's my memory.
I'm
That
most
is-
awkward on first meeting. And then it's just all downhill. All uphill, downhill. I don't know. I mean, I'm awkward because I haven't met Eric many times.
Ollie embraces the awkwardness.
but
He goes
the-
full awkward.
I was like, let's just get out of the way. I don't really sweat anywhere.
Just your
It's
hands?
true.
Just my
It's
hands.
True.
I
palms.
Wow.
I literally I don't have to wear deodorant. I just don't really sweat. I think it's because I was born like tragically without a metabolism. So I can I like literally I have a hamburger and I'm like a week of eating hamburgers, I'll be fat.
Like a visible hamburger shape.
Just on-
portion
on
of
your
fat
stomach.
appears on his
I
belly.
work out so much just to
Sweat
be
through your hands.
just to be basically like healthy. If Josh worked out as much as me, he would be Mr. Olympia.
He would be
basically.
Arnold
Arnold
Schwarzenegger.
he would.
Schwarzenegger.
And but when I'm nervous, I sweat through my hands, which isn't ideal if you're shaking people's hands.
Right. That's probably, they're probably going to wipe it off.
Exactly. And I thought, I've just met this guy, Josh. He's just agreed to be my friend. Right.
I wanted to go home and be like,
haven't
But now
closed the
he's asked
option.
to shake my hand. I'm like, the best thing to do is back out and just tell him the truth. You don't want to shake my hand.
you know what? Honesty is a great policy. And I think, that's probably why you guys are still
It
friends.
paid
and
off,
working
Exactly.
Look,
Oh.
10 years later,
Yeah.
best friends.
Best of
More
friends.
than 10 years, 12 years now.
12 years.
12 years.
Yeah.
Man.
Yikes.
Right.
So you guys have known each other for 12 years.
Mm-hmm.
So let's so you went through university, you guys were good friends in uni.
Uh-huh.
And for those who are listening who are not familiar with them and their YouTube channel, you guys have over 3 million subscribers now?
Is it over 3 million?
Coming up on 3.5 on our main
That's
channel.
Crazy.
1.5 on our second channel.
So that's like
Yeah.
5 million subscribers,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which is absurd.
It's
And
a
I don't-
ridiculous.
I don't
number.
think there is some overlap between the two channels.
I'm sure, but
they're
it's still-
they're quite distinct as well.
Right.
But
so you have
yeah.
5 million subscribers. How did you get started? How did this happen?
Wow. Good question.
I mean, it does go back to university, right?
Yeah, Ollie, for some reason, always
excited.
liked to make videos. And not really, I would say, because we had any specific purpose or aim
No.
other than just documenting ridiculous happenings.
So before I met Josh
Yeah.
at SOAS, I was at art college.
Uh-huh.
I went to Central St. Martin's in London, and I just didn't enjoy it.
Uh-huh.
I haven't got anything against art education, but it just wasn't for me. And I was like, I want to get a more formal academic education. But then, and so I decided to go to SOAS where I met Josh. But then there's like this creative void in my life where I was doing art every day for, over 5 years. and suddenly like I'm writing essays and reading.
Uh-huh.
And so I had to do something creative, and Josh was really into making videos as well.
Yeah.
And so we just started making videos. So
the creativity kind of took its form in basically thinking about what insane pranks we could pull on our friends / housemates.
Right.
And funny ways to film it and then turn those into videos.
Yeah.
Also, some videos we just made, and I don't really remember why.
Yeah.
But clearly the idea got into our head that this would be hilarious.
Right.
We did a video that's like a contest between Josh and me up the stairs. Where it's like kind of an MMA fight.
Don't try
climbing up the stairs in search
of
of like a taxidermy mink.
What?
And
goodness.
It defies
He's gone
categorization.
Josh
He's
just
gone
got
there.
so red.
Yeah.
I
He's like
just
choking.
choked a little bit on my drink. Not gonna lie.
We did, yeah. But it was quite fun because in search of the next video, we were like, oh, what can we do which can be like the craziest thing ever?
Ollie
So-
got into his head that making a potato launcher from a bunch of plastic piping
Yeah.
that you would spray deodorant into and then get a lighter and light the deodorant as the fuel that would explode out and shoot a potato or whatever we were using as ammunition.
We
That would be
had
fun.
one of the guys in our group is like a quite popular guy,
Yeah.
and in our like circle of friends, and so we decided to have a party
No.
themed around him, but tell everyone except him. And so we had this party. There were like 100 people came dressed as him.
Wow.
We had like
That's great.
photos of him printed up everywhere.
This means like 1/6 of your entire school showed up.
Yeah. Yeah, we knew everyone,
Yeah,
right?
we
We knew
know
everyone in
everyone,
our
yeah.
graduating class because there were
That's
only
Yeah.
200 of us. Yeah.
So you guys were making great videos
Well,
in college.
we were making videos.
Yeah, I don't know whether they were
We
great.
thought-
Now,
great.
can we take like a time machine back and have this uploaded onto your YouTube as like a vintage collection?
I mean, maybe.
I would love to see some of those. I
Wow.
don't know, one day. I'm just throwing it out
Yeah,
there into
I
the
mean,
universe.
Yeah,
People might appreciate it.
It's possible. It is possible.
You know, it's like the inception
Yeah.
of Jolly.
Well, the first video that actually kind of it didn't go viral or anything, but like it got shared around on Facebook.
bunch, yeah.
Back when people used Facebook.
Right.
And then was when Josh came to study in Korea.
Yes.
And you were like missing all of us.
Yeah,
me
yeah.
in particular. He was really missing
Before
me.
I kind of got to know anyone. Okay. Well, I didn't know that many people out here. I was like struggling to learn Korean.
Yeah.
And it was right before Christmas, and I'd spoken to Josh. I knew he wasn't feeling great. So do you remember the song by The Killers, Are We Human?
Yeah.
Human?
Good song.
And
Great song.
Yeah, it was a big song.
Dancers.
Yeah, you know.
I like just made this sign
Yeah.
that said, I miss you, Josh.
Uh-huh.
And then I got all of our friends to hold it and dance to that song.
Like
It's
one
kinda
by
cheesy.
one. Yeah.
And we got them one by one to dance. But then
Yeah.
the twist was that like throughout, like as the video progressed, there were a couple of people that we had met since Josh left, so Josh wouldn't really know. But then as the video progressed, then like I started going up to people on the street and I said, would you be willing to hold this sign
Uh-huh.
and just dance for me? And I played the thing.
More and more
right?
random. The people.
And then, and then by the end, it's literally like there was a cab driver in it
Guy and his cat
who was just
literally
in
just
there.
looked.
He wasn't dancing. He was just holding the sign,
So
like staring
confused.
into the camera, just like with a gaunt look on his face.
Some poor old lady on the bus.
And there was a lady. I mean, I got everyone's permission, but it became this like completely absurd thing where all these like random people on the
Right.
streets of London are like looking really seriously into the camera, holding the sign, I miss you, Josh. And that was Josh's Christmas present for that year.
Oh, that's so
but
nice.
that
was
got
very
shared
sweet.
around on Facebook.
Right.
Yeah.
And I got like messages from all over the world from people I didn't know being like, this is like the sweetest thing. I think most people assume that he knew all of the people who were in the
Right.
video. But obviously,
No idea.
yeah.
Probably thought they were like my extended family.
Yeah.
No
No,
clue.
just some random person you met on the street.
But yeah, that was
Fair
like
enough.
before there were view counts on Facebook videos.
Right,
as
right,
well.
right. It's
So
just
I don't
random
know how many
videos.
people saw it, but I got, I don't know, a couple of hundred messages from like people I didn't
Right.
know.
Random.
And then you're like,
Um,
we should make this a thing. Is that?
A few years later. We both went, we finished uni, we started different jobs.
What did you do? What did you guys do?
I was working in sales in a language school.
In a what?
A language school.
Wow.
So I would like...
In Korea?
Promote our language school in England. I would go around, I was working in East Asia, so I'd travel to China, back home, and travel a bit to Korea, Japan, Thailand, all over the place, and be like, this is why you should come to this language school.
Okay.
And Ollie was working in a charity.
Yeah, I was working. I got really lucky because we graduated in 2009. So it was right after the financial crisis.
Right. Tough times.
And it was just impossible to get a job.
Right.
And a lot of our friends really struggled and had to do interning, and it was just a tough time to get a job.
Right.
But I somehow managed to get this job. This new homelessness shelter was being set up in East London. It was like a collaboration between 7 churches.
Wow.
And each church would volunteer their building and a group of volunteers, like a team of 5 people, for 1 night a week.
Oh, okay.
And then each night, the shelter would move to... So Monday night would be St. Paul's. Tuesday night would be Christchurch. And in London, they're all like, there's churches everywhere, right? The problem isn't space. So they needed someone to essentially run that.
So you were doing that.
And I did that like straight out of university, no experience.
Wow. Okay.
Suddenly I'm like basically having a sleepover with 15 homeless guys every night.
Well, you're managing a shelter. It's slightly more admin than that, but yeah.
And so I got really lucky, to be honest, because that was a job. It didn't pay much. It paid, I don't know, it paid probably $16,000 a year. So like in London,
non-profit job.
That's a really hard. It's really hard to live off that.
Yeah,
but it was amazing, and I got to spend time with people, homeless people, which was a real privilege. People who had just been dealt a really bad hand in life, and also got to work with the community in East London. Like literally, we had 300-400 volunteers who went on rotation, and we provided. It still does provide to this day the largest provision of free accommodation for the homeless in East London. So, yeah, I was doing that, and you were in a language school, but 5 years in, or 4.5 years in,
it was like 2 years for me. You must have graduated. You graduated a year before me.
A year.
Because I did a language
It felt like
course.
5 years.
Felt like forever.
It was a long time.
We were just a bit jaded. We were both broke.
Yeah.
And, we were still good friends. And we were like, oh, man.
We kind of wanted to do some work together.
Yeah.
Something a bit more creative.
Okay.
And we looked back to our uni days and we're like, man, those were the days, dude. Just going around, making videos, not going to classes, doing what we wanted and just for fun. And so we just thought about how we could make videos more, how we could work and do something different, something creative. And Ollie's producing ability, making videos, and my Korean language just kind of ended up putting together, and
the perfect
영국남자 started.
Yeah.
Man, what was your first video?
Oh gosh,
I kind of don't want to tell.
No,
because then
really
people
need to
will
talk
look it
about
up and they'll watch it.
Oh, it was so bad.
If we tell Eric, we'll just have to make it private.
Yeah. So we like planned it out. We were like, if we watched so much YouTube in uni, so much YouTube. I mean, it was ridiculous. That was kind of all we did, other than trying to make videos. But we planned it out, and we were like, you know what? We should have a video where we explain what the channel is going to be about, so that people know when they come to this channel, this is what's happening. But then no one's going to see that, so we should make another video that we upload simultaneously that like could go viral.
Okay.
And so, you know what? No, I don't think anyone's done this before. So let's go out on the streets of London and feed people some Korean food like kimchi. That's going to be so foreign to them. They're not going to have any idea what this is.
Yeah.
Let's ask them what they think about Korea and just see what like the average random person in London thinks about Korea. So we went out.
Terrible idea.
Did that. I mean, it was
idea.
terrifying. Literally, random people do not want you to go up to them and ask them stuff with a camera, apparently.
Yeah, they really
That's
don't.
what we discovered.
Yeah.
Like, people cussing us out.
Really?
Yeah, like, Yeah, it was bad.
There were a lot of bloopers from that.
A
lot of anger.
It was tough.
A lot of anger. And but we
tough times, dude.
We pushed through.
We did.
Yeah.
I remember.
It worked out in the end.
Can we swear?
Yeah, you can do whatever you want.
So I remember literally the first guy who we go up to, he just goes, I'm not gonna swear. I don't.
I was like, dude, you go for it.
He,
You wanna
just
go
like,
for it.
He just like that, like in Josh's face.
Straight up.
Literally in Josh's face.
Oh man.
We were
And
like, we're filming a video for YouTube, and he just goes, "F YouTube."
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Just gonna leave
And then
you
that,
alone.
and then
The self-doubt creeps in at that moment.
Yeah.
You're like, is my life a mistake?
remember we literally had well, maybe one subscriber at that point.
We
My
didn't even
mum.
have a channel at that point, did we?
Yeah, probably not.
No.
But so yeah, we were out in Camden and we filmed this episode, and then we managed to speak to like a couple of people who were nice to us.
Yeah.
And then we decided to go down my Camden Canal. People who know London will know Camden is on like Regent Canal. And there was this guy parked to the side of the road,
Mm-hmm.
and he
Parked
was
in a canal boat.
in a
He
canal
lived
boat.
In a canal boat.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry, I should have
It
clarified
was his
that.
house.
Wow.
And also a boat.
Okay.
And he was this crazy.
It sounds very luxurious, actually.
It was not luxurious. It's like, think of,
It's
do you
like
have
less than a
caravans?
meter width.
Caravan, like
Like a
Like a mobile
trailer,
home?
Yeah.
Trailer home.
an
Yeah.
RV.
Yeah.
Trailer.
Yeah, it's like an RV, but like a
On the
quarter of the
water.
size and on the
Very
water.
thin. And very, very thin.
But he had a beautiful boat, and it was
Yeah.
covered in flowers.
Yes.
And he also had a high-pitched German accent.
So excited to see where this is going.
And we were like, hey man, would you like to try some Korean food? And he's like, oh yeah, I'd love to. That would be so lovely. And then we were like, what? Okay.
That just sounded like the gingerbread man
Yeah.
from Shrek.
No, seriously.
So that was great.
And then
Please do more.
he's
What
trying
else did he
it.
say?
And he's trying it. And as he's trying it, I'm like, oh, could we get a tour of your boat? And he's like, oh yeah, come on board. And we ended up just having this
We
amazing.
start to walk on and we're like, oh, there's a bell there. What's that bell do?
Oh, it's the sex bell. You just ring the bell. You have sex.
You're like, okay. He's like, yeah, don't ring it. Okay.
And we were like, oh, this is magic. This is so much
We
fun.
caught it all on camera.
That's
yeah.
great.
Kind of
So is that up on YouTube as well?
That
Yeah.
was our first ever upload, and that somehow blew up. My friend in Korea, I mean, we uploaded it, no one watched it. My friend shared it on like a Korean Reddit,
Right.
오늘의 유머.
Right.
And
That was huge
back
back
then,
Yeah.
and then it blew up, and we had like 30,000 subscribers at the end of that day, first upload.
Crazy.
We had, at that time we had, I think, email notifications on every time we got a comment
Yeah.
or like a subscriber, and
yeah.
so then our email was like
You have
flipping
50,000
out.
new subscribers.
We did not, from nothing, and so we did not sleep that night.
Yeah.
It was just like, what is happening?
Wow.
And we talked about like potential of going viral or whatever, like dreamt about this happening
And it
for a
happened.
long time, and then it just flipping happened on the first video.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
So
What are the
overwhelming.
chances? So
Yeah.
so this happens. When was it when you guys were? I mean, I feel like you lived here for a while. Like
So I lived here for 1 year. That's the
For a
only time
year.
I've ever lived here.
okay,
When
when was that?
that was in 2008 to 2009.
Okay, so
Back
you.
in the day.
So that's like before all this YouTube stuff.
Oh yeah, a long time ago.
So you've just been traveling back and forth, both of you.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, how often are you guys in Korea? It's
So since we started the channel, it's just been getting more and more frequent
We can't really come more frequently than we currently
than we do. Yeah.
We have a rule that we don't come for more than 2 weeks
okay.
because
Why is that?
well, we're both married
Mm-hmm.
and I have a 2-year-old little girl and
Our families are very much based in the UK.
Right.
yeah.
Communities in the UK.
We used to come for longer periods of time, but we found that it was just really negatively affecting our family life.
Right. Right.
And, it's just not worth that. It's like nothing's worth that.
Right.
And so the maximum we would ever stay is 2 weeks. And if we have to come for longer than that, we will bring our families with us.
Uh-huh.
But ideally, we'll come for shorter than that if we can squeeze everything in.
Yeah. And it means that somehow we managed to maintain like a community life in London where we live very boring, very
we are not dope in
lives.
the UK.
Yeah, as soon as we enter the UK, we lose the dope badge.
Yeah.
We just give it up.
They take it away from you.
What do
Exactly.
people back home think about you guys and like what you're doing? They're like, what?
They just find it hilarious.
Yeah.
I mean, to them it's so like otherworldly. And it's strange because, you know, with our second channel, Jolly, we have a much more international audience.
Mm-hmm.
So it's made things come a lot more close to home.
Okay.
You know, we'll be walking 5 minutes walk away from our house and people will come up in the street and say hi. And that's a strange collision of worlds for us.
Yeah.
We're used to living a very quiet life in West London. And then it all kind of being crazy when we're out here in Korea. But those worlds feel like they're colliding a little bit.
Just a little bit. I mean, we have the best experience of like D-list celebritydom in that in that we get to come to Korea and it's like a lot of people on the street will recognize us, but in a way that they're just like kind of our friends. And then we go back to London and we're by and large, if we avoid like touristy areas, we're like completely anonymous. No one cares. Yeah. And then it's like a fun thing to talk
Keeps
about
us
at
grounded.
dinner parties.
Right. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. So, I mean, I feel like most people, if it, you know, singers or YouTubers or artists or like actors, they all have like one video that really took them to that next level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like you guys have had a lot of viral videos, but what was the one that you guys can like pinpoint that you think was a really big changing factor?
Okay.
Yeah. It was that one.
Yeah. So for people who don't know what 불닭볶음면 is, it's crazy.
It's Satan's ramyun.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah.
So could you walk us through a little bit of this video?
There's a backstory.
Right.
So our actual, like, after the first initial viral kind of hit, right, we had a few random videos, and then our second viral hit was we opened a mailbox, and a bunch of people from Korea and kind of all over sent us boxes. Like, we had like 60 huge boxes to open all at once. We opened them all. We uploaded that onto YouTube, and it hit the Naver homepage. It's the first time back in 2013 I'd ever seen a YouTube video linked on the Naver homepage. Right.
And for people who don't know, Naver is like it's the portal that runs Korea. The internet here.
It's Korean Google.
Yeah. And so that was nuts. That was crazy. And it blew up. And the one thing that the thing that was in most of the boxes that we were like, oh, people really want us to try this, was 불닭볶음면.
Oh, gosh.
This spicy new noodle. Man. And at the time, it was like a 신제품. It was new.
Brand new.
No one had any idea really what this thing was. But I guess a lot of our fans were like, oh, there's this new thing. It's supposed to be super spicy. It'll be funny to see them try it.
Oh.
And so we went out with a bunch of our friends and we're like, hey, let's do this. This is going to be even funnier if we film in front of like London landmarks. Yeah. To bring this like collision of cultures, even kind of emphasize it more. Right. And we just tried it, and each of us tried to finish a pot by ourselves.
We called it the 불닭볶음면 도전, Fire Noodle Challenge.
Fire Noodle Challenge.
I've never tried it.
What?
I don't want to.
What?
I don't want to live on a toilet, bro. Dude. Like, I don't want to do that.
What? You're not a big spice.
I mean, I can deal with spice, but like the idea of like me being miserable, it doesn't turn me on, bro. Like, it's not dope.
Fair enough. Yeah, fair enough.
You know.
Yeah. I mean, it is crazy spicy. So that was a thing, and that became a flipping viral challenge on YouTube.
Yeah, it did.
And you look it up now. You Google like the Fire Noodle Challenge, and there's all these videos. You won't even see our video in like the top list.
Yeah. Really?
There's many people all over the world who have like more views than our original ones did.
Yeah. But you guys were the original. You guys were like...
Yeah, I mean, I think our fans like made that happen. We would never have known to do that.
That's amazing.
But they sent it to us, so we made it a challenge, and then somehow it became a thing.
We knew it was a real deal when Samyang Foods, the company that manufactured it, like sent us a massive...
2 boxes.
2 massive boxes of it, and like a book that they'd made, like a commemorative book.
Oh, really?
Like screenshots from our video.
and screenshots of comments and then like letters from employees.
Wow.
And we,
It was
and we were like, how much money are you making from this,
Yeah.
right?
Like,
and then we
how
heard a couple of years ago
crazy.
from one of the guys who, the chief importers of Korean food into the UK. He was like, when the Fire Noodle Challenge happened, they sold out of Fire Noodle, like buttapokmyeon globally.
Wow.
They
To this
sold out.
day, I
You
can't
guys
remember-
should have gotten paid for that.
Yo,
Yeah.
I think to this day, he said they sell something like, what was it, like 15,000 boxes a year or something? Maybe it was a month. I don't
month.
even remember.
It was an
It was like,
unbelievable
in
amount.
the UK.
In the UK.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was
That's how much they
That's
import and they
crazy.
sell out.
Yeah, it's like a phenomenon.
Right,
Crazy.
you guys definitely need like a revenue share on that.
Yeah.
Seriously,
Let
where
me
are the
walk into
royalties?
that office.
Yeah.
Like,
Like,
yo,
where are the royalties?
Well, they sent us a commemorative book.
Okay.
I mean, that goes for life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
This is
Yeah.
true.
All
Money
right.
doesn't bring happiness.
And so for people who are not familiar with you guys, so
Yes.
you have these videos, and you have all sorts of different series now, and I guess we started getting closer because we started doing the similar thing of interviewing a lot of
Yes.
celebrities
Yeah.
who are coming to Korea.
Yeah.
So I do even like yesterday. Wait, was it yesterday?
Yeah.
It was yesterday.
Time flies. I think it
Yeah,
was yesterday.
yesterday.
Yeah.
So yesterday, it was the Terminator junket,
Mhm.
and I did like the new Terminator people,
Revenant,
and you guys
yeah.
took on Arnold and what's her name,
Linda Hamilton.
Linda Hamilton.
Yeah.
Sarah
Um,
Connor. Yeah.
And then I guess like the last time we saw each other was in Hungary for Will Smith.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
a couple
Yeah.
weeks back. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean,
Wait, can we just say, isn't Will Smith amazing?
yeah, yes,
Like,
That needs
yes, I
acknowledgement.
love that
seriously.
man.
So everyone loves him.
Oh my gosh!
But then I
Yeah.
feel like everyone in the world should meet him, you know?
Yeah.
Like he's better.
you need to run that by him.
Yeah,
first.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
he's better than his persona.
He's better in real
He's
life.
great.
Yeah.
He's better in real life and he's pretty good in
Even
like
on screen.
on
or whatever,
screen.
Yeah.
But I don't know about you. When he came into the room, he shakes everyone's hand.
Exactly.
He turned up 5 minutes early. Like who does
Yeah.
that?
Who does that? Nobody
Yeah,
does that.
right. And
Yeah.
he was just honestly the most charming person I think I've ever met.
Wholeheartedly agree.
Mhm.
I think it was on like one of the previous podcasts. I said my new favorite interview of all time is Will Smith.
Wow. Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
by far.
Fair enough.
Like
fair
we've
enough.
done a lot. Like I've done a lot. You guys have done a ton. You guys were recently with what? David Beckham.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
crazy.
Oh
my God.
That was,
just like-
that was terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why? Why was
like
that?
our childhood hero.
Right.
Literally, the first time I cried, the first time I can remember
true.
crying
Uh-huh.
It's true.
is in 1998 when he got sent off in the World Cup.
And you cried.
And I knew we're down to 10 men. There's
You
no
were
chance
what,
of
like
coming
11?
back. 11. That's the
Yeah.
first time I can remember crying. I mean, I definitely cried before then. I wasn't like a soulless child who was like, oh, the baby's hungry. He's just staring
Demon
into
child.
the abyss.
I-
No,
Ice
I
Prince.
definitely did cry, but the first time I can remember crying was that. And then the second time I can remember crying
Oh no.
was with joy in 2001 when he scored the equalizer in the 93rd minute
Oh my
to
gosh.
take us into the World Cup
Oh
finals.
my gosh.
David
So-
Beckham hype man over here.
I feel like for every English person
Yes.
who is our age,
Uh-huh.
David Beckham is a part of our upbringing. And
He just
he's
doesn't
a
get
part of
bigger
us.
than David
Football
Beckham.
is so big in the
It
UK,
is, yeah,
right?
it is.
And when the World Cup is on, or the
Everything
European
shuts
Cup,
down.
Mhm.
exactly.
Right.
And he was literally our only hope for like 15 years.
Seriously.
And so it was
yeah.
kind of scary to meet him in person.
So what was that experience like when you met him? Do you like what did you say to him?
I was literally like a kid.
He was literally like,
There's a clip at the end.
when a
which
child's like
we're
in
editing
love
it right
with
now,
someone.
and I want to cut
think
it,
they're
but everyone
perfect.
else finds it hilarious.
Yeah.
It's at the end. I'm with a hat. He's signing a hat for me, and you can just hear my like fragile, almost like prepubescent voice
Yeah.
being like, "Thank you, David." So
Sorry, I
embarrassing.
just kicked the table.
embarrassing.
Genuinely though,
Honestly.
I've never heard that
my
level of sincerity
God.
from
It's
Ollie's
like-
voice.
honestly.
He just
oh my
goes,
god.
"Thank you, David. Thank you." It's like the depths of his heart
Seriously.
poured out
my
in that
gosh.
one line.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Did he even respond to that? He was just,
No, he did. I mean, he's David Beckham, right?
Right.
So,
Gent.
you know,
Gentleman.
Such a gent.
I mean, he reduces grown men to kind of these
Prepubescent children.
Yeah, exactly. He seemed like he was totally used to it.
Yeah.
But he was
definitely.
charming and gracious.
I was just happy he's a foodie. Honestly.
yeah, what'd you guys eat?
Looking at him, he was so skinny. I was like, this guy, anything we give him, he's probably going to be like, no, I can't. I've already had my salad for today. We gave him hanu, like marbled
so good.
to the next level.
Yeah.
We went to our best hanu restaurant where
Where'd
the
you
guy
go?
hooked us up. It's Yoido Sengogi. Just a little shout out to that guy because he hooked us up with all the meat for free. Super nice
I
dude.
mean, it's Beckham too.
Yeah,
by the
exactly.
way.
And he
Yeah.
was like, "Yo, I want to give this guy good food," and
Yeah.
the meat was unreal. And Beckham saw all the food, and he was like, "Yes." He's really understated, so he's like super chill.
Okay.
But he was like, "Oh yes, I love a good barbecue," and I was just like, "All right,
Also,
I'm happy. I'm so happy."
I don't know whether we can share this, but we were
Okay.
supposed to have 20 minutes with him.
Uh-huh.
And he just kept extending the interview.
That's
he was like, "Can you
crazy.
put some more meat
Yeah,
on?"
can we get some more of that?
We were with him for 35 minutes.
I haven't tried that cut yet. Can we have that one as
That's
well?
awesome.
So good.
But that's like the
So
most
good.
rewarding part of when you're
It's the
doing
best.
an interview and like
Yeah.
the act is just like I'm cool to keep going.
Yeah,
Exactly,
yeah,
That's
yeah.
so good.
Like that was me and Jamie Foxx. We were supposed to get
Oh,
5
really?
minutes, and I got like 30 or something.
Wow,
So I
that's
epic.
stepped out afterwards, and
That's
all
epic.
the other reporters like started clapping.
Really? Wow.
Wow.
That's
They
amazing.
don't play the sound, but you could watch the monitors inside.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I walked out, and everybody just started clapping. And I was like,
Oh, that's amazing.
"Yes!" Like I feel so good.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I
Yeah,
completely
You're
understand.
just running on so much adrenaline.
Yeah.
It's just like a
Yeah.
high. Yeah.
Because like for me, Jamie Foxx, I was like, I grew up watching his movies.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
singer. He's a
He's
comedian.
basically the world's most talented person.
Insane. So up until Will
Yeah.
Smith, he was my favorite interview.
Okay.
Right. Fair play.
Yeah.
Fair play.
But
Yeah.
I don't know where I was going with that. See, I'm really
Yeah,
good
no,
at
it's
this,
interesting
guys.
insight. It's
It's
interesting.
true.
Yeah.
It's crazy that like we've both ended up doing the same thing because we first met
Right.
YouTube Fan Fest.
Which, as I told you earlier today,
Yeah.
was an anxiety attack for me.
Well,
It
you
was just a-
you hit it
A
well.
full blown. I was wearing an adult diaper, just like letting little bits of like my bodily fluids go, and I was like trying not to die.
But that was like totally hidden from us.
Yeah.
Thank God.
You did
great.
not show.
Oh,
you got a
man.
good game face.
MC
Dude,
the
I
heck
feel
out
like
of it.
for me, it just shows. You know, I'm like, thank
No,
you.
it doesn't show. It's
Thank
just
you,
on
David.
your palms. Thank you, David.
Yeah.
Oh man, no, we met YouTube Fan Fest probably 2014 or
Yeah.
Probably 14.
Around, yeah.
Maybe 15.
Around then.
But I was telling them earlier today that it was tough because I did not know what I was saying. I was just reading off cue cards and I would just mess it up constantly.
Yeah.
And this came off the back of Ollie really perfecting Korean today.
Yeah,
Perfecting
mastering the
and
language.
mastering the language.
Finally nailed it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
Ever the encourager.
Oh, man.
Just
But I
managing
mean, like you
expectations.
guys are doing, you're having conversations with the biggest people in the world, right? The
How the
Avengers,
heck did we get
David
here?
Beckham,
Yeah.
Will Smith. Where do you see this going? What do you want to
Good
do? Like,
question.
I mean, Jolly
Honestly,
Cast,
though-
obviously, but like,
Yeah.
what else?
Jolly cast, yeah. I think this whole journey of the last 6 years has been so insane.
Mm.
And we've had a lot of ambitions throughout. Like, I would love to be able to take this and use this concept and apply it here. And, we did our first Buldak Bokkeumyeon Dojeon with a
Right.
bunch of our friends,
Right.
feeding them Korean food for the first time. And we were like, there are so many good Korean foods we could do with them.
Right.
Let's give them more Korean. And so then we did loads of other Korean foods with them, and those went viral.
Right.
And then we were like, we're really good at giving Korean food to people and introducing it. Why don't we do it to people like we don't know?
Right.
What about if a celebrity comes to Korea? And then that kind of started. And then it's just escalated so quickly and kind of gotten out of our control that it feels like we're just trying to stay on top of things.
Yeah.
We're just trying to do
Still,
the best we can at every
really.
opportunity that comes. But there's so much that's coming in
You guys
our
are
way.
killing it.
I mean, YouTube is it's like anything in media, right? The best thing about it is it changes every week, but
Right.
the worst thing about it is that it changes every week.
Mm.
So, and so it doesn't lend itself to long forward thinking.
Mm-hmm.
but then also the medium of making videos for YouTube doesn't lend itself to that either. So, for example, we're uploading the David Beckham episode tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. We have to upload it then. It's not finished right now. You know, like we're still working on it.
I mean, it's almost there.
It's almost there.
Yeah.
But then, and we filmed episodes for the next 2 weeks, but after that we have nothing. And then, so it does feel like you're constantly like chasing the rainbow.
Right.
Yeah.
But then that's the only way you can do it. You can't predict what is going to be popular in 6 months' time.
Right.
Yeah.
Just kind of going with the flow.
Yeah, and try not to be too hard on yourself either. You know, like we've always tried to experiment and push what we're doing and take ourselves out of our comfort zone. And that means inevitably you're going to fail and you're going to do things that you're like, oh, I wish we'd done that differently. But that's also the joy of getting to do this job.
Yeah.
You know, you get to be creative. As it is easy to lose sight of that. And I think I just try and remember we're so privileged to be in a job where we can be creative and we can push those boundaries and we're allowed to fail and you know,
and then keep going on and trying new things.
Yeah,
and it's incredible. I really like the position we're in right now is something we just never could have expected. That it's quite overwhelming, but also leads us to keep thinking. You know, like you said, what's next?
Yeah.
What else can we do? Recently, our most recent series, we brought twins to Korea. One of them was a major in the UK Army. One of them's a priest. It's a crazy story. Don't even ask me how that happened. But the fact that like bringing a major in the army to a different country, you have to get all these permissions from his superiors. And then we thought, you know, he's in the army. It'd be really fun if we went to the Korean army and did some experiences there.
Right.
Then you got to get like permissions from both governments.
It's a lot.
But we made it happen somehow. And the fact that we could then do a series on a Korean army base was like, this is nuts. And they loved it. The people we were working with in Korea had a great time, it seemed like. They seemed happy. They want to do something else again.
Yeah.
So the fact that we can do stuff like that is like, okay, well, we just got to, you know, sky's the limit.
Yeah.
We just got to keep thinking of stuff.
I mean, it's exciting. I feel like you guys are always pushing the envelope with new stuff. And I think the general Korean public, like everybody knows you guys by now, I feel. I mean, if you guys are shooting endorsements and commercials, I can't wait for this new one to come out that you were telling me about where you're just awkwardly the third wheel. I'm like really excited. I'm like, I keep thinking about that. I'm like, I can't wait to just see it.
I don't even know if we can talk about that yet.
I literally don't think we can. we did an advert.
Yeah.
Well, it's like a promo for an unnamed brand that rhymes with
Don't. What are you doing?
Song.
You're an idiot. You are an idiot. Okay.
And
Unnamed.
it involved me going on holiday with Josh and Gabby.
This is true.
Gabby's Josh's wife.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, his second wife. I like to refer to myself as the first wife.
Okay.
Because I knew Josh first.
This is strange.
I was his first love.
This is so strange. This needs background context that I can't even give.
I'm sorry.
Anyway.
But yeah, that was fun. But there's just so, you must have this as well, right? There's so many things. There's so many things that we do that I just stop myself. I'm like, holy crap.
What just happened?
That's Will Smith sitting right there.
Yeah.
You know, like yesterday with Arnold Schwarzenegger, I challenged him to a stare off.
Who won?
Who do you think, Eric?
Yeah, he's literally
You,
the Terminator.
definitely.
He's the Terminator.
He's the Terminator.
I mean, he's 72 years old.
Yeah.
Can we just say he's 72? Does not make him less the Terminator. He is just as
in a way,
much
more so.
terminating.
He has to be so daunting.
Yeah, no, seriously.
Like,
Terrifying.
just everything about him.
He terminated my self-esteem, my everything was terminated.
Masculinity. Yeah.
But yeah, you do take a moment, you step back and you're like, this is really freaking crazy.
Yeah. Amazing stuff.
Yeah.
So I guess there is one. Let's see. We have a couple things that we want to do. We have some very quick, not games. Well, there'll be conversation points. Activities.
All right. Activities.
Clearly, I'm not very good at this. All right.
I
so
like activities.
you guys have been friends, Josh and Ollie. Jolly, you have been friends for over 10 years now.
Yes, it's true.
You referred to yourself as his first wife.
That's very odd. Let's not get into that.
So considering you guys know each other so well,
Yeah.
we we're gonna have you answer about each other's first.
Fantastic. We're gonna test it.
Yeah, we're gonna test it. We're gonna get into the nitty gritty.
Okay.
If you actually know the answer, that's great. Let us know. If not, come up with your best guess of what you think is the first.
Okay, I like this.
All right.
Yeah.
So, first one. First date. First date.
What, with our current
Whoever.
spouses or
Well, you could
ever?
Let's go ever. Ever.
Wow.
I have no idea.
I
I don't
mean,
know about
that's
you.
that is a
This is where
long
we get
time
very
ago.
creative here.
Okay.
Where do
let's
you
imagine,
imagine,
let's
or how do
imagine.
you, what do you think
First
Josh's
date.
first date was? And then we'll see if it was right.
First date.
Well, I would guess that it would be in China.
Mate, 12 years old, that's late in the game, bro.
Late in the game. Wow.
I was starting young, mate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, Caterham.
Oh, wow. Just throwing out my hometown.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I mean,
could have been. Depends what you define as
I
a
don't know.
date.
It feels
really.
almost like a violation to speculate.
Yeah. All right, I'll go.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, you and Lizzie, your wife, are like childhood sweethearts,
Yeah.
basically. You met when they were like, what, 16 or something?
Yeah.
So, I'm going to go with you guys on the first date. I can imagine that happening. And let me think. What would you guys be doing?
I can already sense an insult coming.
What are you talking about? No. Okay, you're both quite eccentric personalities. Yeah.
Here comes
And
the
you,
qualifiers.
even then, you were, I'd say, even more eccentric.
Qualifying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say you went out there. You probably tried to do something romantic, little bit embarrassing.
Okay.
And she...
I'm just holding on to my self-esteem. Can't be worse than saying thank you, David.
But on... But if I know anything about Lizzie, I bet she wasn't fazed at all. One of you definitely would have done something very embarrassing, like farting in public. And the other one probably would have been like, you know what? If that person has the confidence to do that, admitting it, then, you know, I reckon they're a good match.
So you think? So I just want to take. I just want to take a summary, right? Okay.
Yeah,
That's
go
what
for
I'm
it.
going with. That's what I'm
At
going
some
with.
point when
Yeah.
I first met Lizzie,
Yeah.
I took her on a date.
Yeah.
I was generally embarrassing in like in a generalized way.
Yeah.
That probably meant that I farted, but she was okay with it.
Yeah. Or she farted and you're okay with it.
Okay.
Who knows?
Okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted to
Either
be
way.
clear. I just
Yeah.
wanted to be clear.
Yeah. No, or something like that. I was giving an example, you know, people at home,
Yeah.
they might not be able to imagine what do I mean by something
But
embarrassing.
now they're imagining me farting.
Now they know.
Right.
Yeah.
All
You're
like
welcome,
A
ladies
really
and
loud
gentlemen.
tens
one.
of thousands of people who don't know you.
A really loud
Yeah.
one.
Now just imagining you
And
farting.
you accepting responsibility, you know,
I'd be
not
like,
ashamed.
sorry,
Not ashamed.
that was me.
That was me. And
I'll
Lizzie's
do the
like,
right thing. Take the higher ground.
Yeah. You know, I like a man with integrity.
Okay.
Boom.
Okay.
That sounds
Love
like
at
a
first
great
sight.
first
Yeah,
date,
there you go.
Ollie. I'm really
Yeah.
glad that
I just
happened.
wanna
Okay, all the Jolly Beans at home, there's people who watch our
Okay,
channel,
yeah,
Jolly,
yeah.
I bet you they'll agree with me.
Okay, I just want to clarify for the record that this didn't happen. We're talking about it now
okay,
already.
okay,
Like
well,
it did happen. This is just something
Probably
that Josh
did. It
summoned from
probably
his
did.
imagination.
I mean, at some point, I
Okay.
bet it happened.
I mean, I've
Was it
definitely-
smelly? Was it really bad?
It
or,
didn't
like,
happen. It did.
Was
for
it
the
like
record, I never
was
fart.
it a silent killer or
Oh no, I do fart occasionally, like all human beings. But
Okay.
the thing is, I don't really remember my first date with Lizzie. I don't remember my first date. What? Ever. Gosh. I don't know. I do remember Lizzie and I like to go to Regent's Park, which is a really beautiful park in London, and take one of those like Korean camping stoves and cook like spam.
What? Are you allowed
And
to
make-
do
did
that?
this
make
in
fried-
London?
In Regent's
fried
Park?
spam
Isn't that
sandwiches.
illegal?
Probably. But I like to live on the edge.
When did you do that?
Yeah. And like the law isn't going
10
to get
years
between
ago.
me and my fried spam sandwiches.
Okay, I thought you were going to say between you and your wife, but you know, the sandwiches are good too.
the fried spam sandwiches? Those will do it.
I just want to shift the focus onto your first
Sure,
date.
let's do it.
Actually, have I already done yours?
My imaginary
You said-
one. No, you
You
just
said just China.
China.
Yeah,
that was like it.
that was
Josh
weak.
was like, no.
That was weak.
All right, so we're gonna move on to the next one.
Okay, I feel like I lost that
All
round.
right, we're gonna move on to the next
It's a
one.
competition. Yeah.
First time getting a little too tipsy.
Ooh. This had to. Oh, I know the answer to this. No,
Let's-
actually, maybe I don't.
I'm sure.
I'm gonna go first.
Go
I'm gonna
for it.
first again. So, in uni, we used to be okay. I mean, we were uni students. We have both had our student loans. We are living on a budget, tight budget, right? So we don't have a lot of money. Go to get a pub and get a pint in London. That's expensive. On the other hand,
Who does that?
yeah, on the other, yeah, not uni students. On the other hand, going to Tesco or one of the
Like a-
cheap supermarkets
yeah.
there, you can get a bottle of Basics
What's
alcohol.
basics?
So Basics is like the cheapest possible line. So big supermarkets.
So it's like rubbing alcohol,
they
make
do
you
like
blind.
cheap line.
It's like own brand.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
so-
like no name brand kind of thing.
Right.
Okay,
Exactly.
Cool.
But like the no-name brand, they have like the standard product, the luxury no-name brand product, and the cheap no-name brand product. So like Sainsbury's Basics or Tesco Value
Yeah.
is the cheap stuff. The Tesco vodka, I think, actually might just be paint cleaner or something
That
terrible.
just legally, that is not an accusation.
I wash my hands with this. Yeah. So, but you guys used to get the gin because gin is unlike vodka. It's tricky. You know, it doesn't have that strong of a taste.
Mm-hmm.
You mix it with some
sneaks
tonic
up on you.
water, a bit of lemon, a bit of lime. It's easy going.
Right?
And man, this is gonna make us sound like really weird uni students, but we didn't actually have proper glasses in our house.
Nobody does.
So one time, I think maybe this was when I was in Korea. I remember you guys telling me there's a thing we used to do when I was there too. We used to make gin and tonics in big empty Nutella jars. I don't know if you know the big Nutella jars,
Yeah,
like
the
the
huge
big
ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just fill it with ice.
Yeah.
And a G&T with like a Basics gin,
Yeah.
which that stuff can get you.
And it's hard to keep track of how much you're drinking when it's
very,
in
in a
a
Nutella
Nutella
jar.
jar.
Yeah. And the ice melts, and you're like, oh, that probably all of the stuff I just drank was mostly ice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Top it up with
You
gin.
should
Yeah.
definitely. You got to.
Dangerous, very
Yeah.
dangerous. And I remember hearing some stories, accidental over drinking.
I love how Josh just like deflected that. He was like, this is something that we did together, but they probably did it when I wasn't in the
I
country.
remember hearing the story. And the thing is, I remember a specific story about our other flatmate,
Yeah.
not you,
Ben.
who he's like the least crazy guy. You know, you got some guys who are like party animals.
Right.
Ben is not a party animal.
Yeah.
No.
I don't know if you're listening to this, Ben. We love you. But he's not a party animal. And so I heard this story that they drank so much that like literally he woke up and was just like vomiting everywhere from drinking so much.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? Apparently they're just sitting at home like watching stuff on the projector.
I felt bad.
TV,
I felt bad.
drinking
felt
Basics gin
genuinely
and
bad.
tonics,
Yeah.
Wait, you guys weren't even like going out.
getting
No,
like
it was just-
blind
no.
wasted.
That honestly is one of the worst nights of my university career.
No.
Yeah, it
you
was.
serious?
Because we just lost track of how much was in the Nutella jar.
It's easy to do, people.
We
It's
were watching,
easy.
I think, like 1922, Dracula, Nosferatu.
We used
Wow.
to like project Alfred Hitchcock films
Yeah,
on the projector.
we were
Those were
into
good nights.
movies. And we just lost track of time and of our alcohol consumption. And it just came back to bite Ben.
And the nicest guy is just puking on the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he
he's the
was like
sweetest
the
dude, sweetest dude.
sweetest guy.
Oh man.
Yeah.
That's brutal.
He didn't even have like a good, he didn't even like meet anyone special
Oh,
or
it
It's
wasn't
have a
a
special
club or
party.
He just
anything.
got killed.
Yeah, he was just watching
Alfred Hitchcock film or
Nosferatu
Yeah,
and vomiting.
drinking Nutella.
Yeah.
Can't wait to meet Ben,
gin
guys.
Yeah.
You sound like a party animal.
The problem is
Yeah.
that's kind of our uni lives. We didn't, instead of partying, we made videos and
Yeah.
pranked each other and then stayed in and watched stuff on the
It's
projectors.
all good.
Yeah,
Sounds
yeah.
fun.
It was fun.
Yeah, it was good.
But now it's time for Josh's first drunk story. What happened, Ollie?
I know this much, that it was probably quite late. Because you had a pretty sheltered
I did. Had a
childhood.
Yeah.
and adolescence.
Oh, that's a good point. For your first, it was definitely when you were like 15.
Younger, probably.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
you weren't sheltered. You
No.
grew up in London. You
Yeah.
had the rough London
London town.
Yeah.
teenage life.
But I mean, I was I wasn't a particularly bad kid, but I certainly wasn't as sheltered as you.
Okay, yeah.
So I reckon your first time drinking a little too much was probably at university.
Definitely, yeah.
What happened?
Never got drunk when I was a teenager. Just
What
didn't
happened? I mean, I remember. I mean, it's so goofy when you look back on the things that we did.
Yeah, we just seem like so silly kids.
Yeah. Because we're like 18.
You don't really know
You've got
anything.
no idea. You don't know what
you're
life
doing.
is about.
No. You know.
I remember somebody in our hall of residence
Reckless.
was like, "Oh, you can put Skittles into
Oh,
vodka."
yeah. We
And
used
it
to
makes
do
it,
that.
like, did
Forgot about that.
you hear
Skittles
about
and
that?
vodka. You could do gummy bears and vodka.
Yeah. And if you leave them in there and put it in the freezer for like 4 hours, vodka doesn't freeze.
It doesn't.
So it just gets
It's
cold
like a
and
slushy
the Skittles mix in.
But it goes like grey and
Tastes
becomes
like
this like
Skittle
radioactive
juice.
sugar poison, alcoholic poison.
Yep.
Yeah, that'll mess
Been
you
there.
up.
And I remember Josh was just really into that idea.
I loved that.
One, you
Yeah.
got a sweet tooth.
I do. Do you
And-
remember we made Blavod shots?
What?
yeah.
That was
Lava
weird.
shot?
It was like this niche
There's this
vodka that
black
had
vodka.
black dye in it.
It was like, it was just like, we were like, oh, we're cool, we're drinking vodka, but it's black.
Yeah.
It's like coloured
cool
vodka.
kids.
And we'd mix it with like fruit juice. Oh,
There's a lot of embarrassing stories.
It's
I
so
have so many
embarrassing.
that I can never speak of.
Okay, but you just
Okay.
ask people on
Great.
your podcast
Exactly.
what stories.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll tell you one from college that is not me, but like I lived in a house with 20 people. It was 9 girls, 11 guys,
That's
in
a
one
good times.
house.
Those are good times.
Wow.
It was a
Is it like
radioactive
a
house.
fraternity
Chaos,
or
yeah.
something?
It was like a leadership house.
Whee!
Did it have a weird Greek name?
No, it was
Like
well, it was just
Omega Champions
No.
or something?
called- we weren't about that.
Okay.
But we have this one friend who's a huge movie like buff and like literature, everything, like hilarious guy. He loved pulling pranks on people in the house.
Classic.
Okay.
So
Classic
one
Yunai.
day he decides to put, Bengay? Bengay is like the icy hot.
Oh,
Oh.
no.
He
Yeah.
decides to
Yeah.
put icy hot
Yeah.
On the toilet seat.
on the toilet
Oh,
seat
yeah.
We've been there.
Yeah, we've
of
definitely
the girls'
been there.
bathroom.
See,
We haven't been there.
that's a line. That's
That
truly
is
a
a
line.
line. He's
That's a
just crossed
gentleman's
it.
line.
Yeah.
He crossed the gentleman line.
And this is where it gets really
Fired
bad.
all over it.
So this girl was visiting the house for like a study session of one of the girls, like a friend. And she went to the bathroom.
She didn't even live there.
She didn't even live
Poor
there.
lady.
She wasn't even a member, but she
Oh,
was just visiting.
Yeah.
And she went to the bathroom, and then she was just like, I feel crazy. Like,
Oh, no.
I'm really cold, and now it's really hot, and it's really painful. I don't know what's going on. She went to the infirmary, and I think she went to the ER because she was like having a full on like
No.
what's going on.
Yeah, that's bad. That's bad.
And then it just blew up the entire house. Like it was like
Of course.
fight on fight, like people freaking out.
Of
This
course.
poor girl had no idea what she stepped into.
Not even involved, yeah.
And it turns out she transferred the next year.
No, she's just like, I'm out.
I don't
am
think it was.
out.
I don't want to think because of that issue,
Yeah.
but it
Okay.
was just when we thought back on it, we're like, you really messed up that girl's
It
life.
definitely contributed.
You
awful.
definitely contributed to it. Yeah. You made a girl transfer, switch
Oh,
schools
gosh.
because you put icy hot on her toilet seat.
Yeah.
That's.
I
So
mean,
that's just the tip of the iceberg for us.
we probably shouldn't talk about our
Yeah,
experiences
let's
with
not.
Icy Hot.
Let's not.
But it was
Not.
it was traumatic.
Why do so many pranks involve icy hot?
I don't know. It's really scary stuff
Yeah,
if
it
you think
is.
about it.
It is.
Yeah.
But all right, last first impression. We talked about when you guys first met each other, but first impression of each other.
Ooh. Interesting.
I don't know.
Let's be very honest here. I feel like there's a lot
okay.
that you're trying to
So-
process.
There was
right
a
now.
lot. There was a lot.
I'm going to start this one.
Yeah, go
Okay.
for it.
I think my first impression of Josh was that he is not like me, but I I can be his friend.
You could be his first wife.
Yeah. maybe.
Okay.
Maybe.
Okay.
But we and I think that's something that has stayed true. The first wife thing, but also the difference thing has stayed true throughout our whole friendship. One of the things we talk about is that we are not competing for the same role in our content.
Right.
And
Or in life.
or
I
in
guess,
life in general. Like
Yeah.
we're different people and we're okay with that. We have different strengths. And it just so happens that a lot of Josh's strengths I'm really weak in, and a lot of my strengths Josh is less strong in.
Definitely, yeah.
And that's just really, it's weird looking back to that first day that I met Josh, because I remember thinking of all the people I've met today, I'm meeting like hundreds of people first day at university. This is the guy that I'm like, I think we're gonna be good friends. But he was, of all the people we met, like one of the least like me as a person, which is interesting.
We studied like opposite things. I mean, I was studying Korean. You were studying
development studies and religion.
Study of religions.
Yeah.
It was like, polar opposite.
Polar opposites, yeah.
Like interests were pretty opposite. I mean, we liked, the thing that brought us together was kind of entertainment. Like films, music, YouTube.
Right.
We watched so much YouTube together. And then the rest of our interests, like, we were pretty different. We would read really different stuff. We're into a lot of different stuff.
Even today, like, you generally don't recommend me, like, books.
Yeah.
And things like that.
Yeah.
You know,
Ollie reads super depressing books.
I read really depressing books.
Oh, man.
Can't even
like,
handle
on
it.
what?
He loves, like, deep, factual books about tragic historical events or tragic current events.
I read one recently that really bummed me out.
It always bums you out. You keep reading them.
What was it about?
He just like feeds off.
I think it was about like
negative
all
energy.
of the political upheaval that led from like 1970, like early 1970s until 9/11. Like everything that led up to that.
Ollie's like the most.
I finished it. I had to like sit on my bed at home and just be like, just like have a moment. It was so depressing.
Ollie's like the most silly YouTube character ever.
Yeah.
But in real life, he's like incredibly academic and deep, and then kind of deeps himself out a little bit too much. And so I feel like you revive yourself with just having fun, silly fun.
Yeah.
That's how you escape from your serious
Thank you, David.
academic side. Anyway. Yeah, it's interesting. I think I definitely got the perception that we shared some things in common which were really odd.
Yeah.
Like unexpected. And then other things that we weren't really similar, but that wouldn't affect like just the ability to have fun together.
Yeah.
Which is cool. I didn't really, at the time we didn't really know anyone. We didn't really have close friends. And that's something that's great about university is everyone is trying to figure out who they are.
Right.
If you are listening and you haven't been to university yet and you're nervous, don't worry. Everything's going to be fine. Everyone going to university is super nervous. No one has any idea what they're doing with their life.
Yeah.
Everyone's figuring it out. And what's so cool about it is it's a bunch of people together figuring it out together. And hopefully you'll run into someone that's also figuring it out in a similar way that you are. You can share a couple things. You can have some fun together. And that's what me and Ollie did. And we just had fun and connected over the things we did share. And it's kind of led to this. And I think what's great is that the ways that we are different have benefited each other so much. The things that he's interested in that I am not, like I get enriched just through hearing about it from him, through learning about it from him. Right. Growing in that.
All these depressing
he's way more, depressing stuff, but
really
also like
depressing
he's
things.
much more interested in politics and economics than I am. And even I would say like in environmental issues and all this stuff. And I kind of am able to learn from that side of Ollie. I had more of an interest in, specifically in Korea and this part of the world and a real passion for this.
Right.
And both of us are kind of open to those ideas, but we had different experiences and different knowledge. And so then Ollie, has now become like much more knowledgeable about Korea and all this
and
stuff.
he's fluent in Korean now.
Exactly. Who could have guessed?
I heard you had like
we filmed one
tattooed the
video
alphabet
with
on
Nam.
your arm.
Not true.
Not true?
None of what
I
has
mean-
just been said is true.
Okay.
I am not fluent.
We did a video with Eric earlier, and you're more fluent than you were before.
I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're quite a good teacher, Eric.
Well, thank you. I mean, you have the best teacher right next to you. I'm just like a good substitute for like, a few minutes.
I don't know.
It was good.
But yeah, if you guys are listening, we did some missions with Ollie in Korean earlier today. So check it out on the YouTube. It's about time to just start wrapping it up. First of all, thank you so much for making time. I know you guys are
Thanks
busy
for having us, man.
doing things all over the world constantly.
Strange to just come here and talk about ourselves.
Yeah.
Feels like we've just we need to actually talk about something meaningful now.
Yeah.
And that was just like,
Well,
chat.
so I actually had an idea. I don't know
Okay.
if you guys would be open to talking about it,
Hit us, please.
but I just kept thinking about this story you shared with me
Oh, gosh.
in Hungary
Okay.
Oh, no.
about your wedding
Okay, what?
and how
story?
Josh
There's a
was
lot
a
of shows.
great best man.
Oh, no.
And if it's too much, we don't have to talk about it. We'll just edit it out. But I don't know. It's up to you guys.
It's up to you. I'm all right with it.
Yeah, well, you were all right with it. On
Yeah,
my
exactly.
wedding day.
Well, yeah, and then I wasn't after that, but
Up to you guys. We could completely go past it.
I mean, this is going on the internet. You gotta be careful when you put something on the internet.
All right, let's do it. So,
It's happening. It's
love
happening.
this.
so I
First time ever.
You have to give everybody the proper backstory.
This is the exclusive. Yeah.
This is the exclusive.
Ollie's backstory and my backstory are probably going to be quite different.
Okay.
yeah, I
Oh dear.
got married shortly after graduating from university to
Right.
my childhood sweetheart, who I am still happily married to.
Yes.
And
Lovely lady.
as Josh had mentioned previously in the podcast,
Mm-hmm.
throughout our university career,
You farted a lot.
I did not fart a lot, but there was a prank war,
Mm-hmm.
an epic
was,
prank
yeah.
war.
Right.
Initiated very much by Ollie. Just gonna
Yeah,
explain.
What was the
fair.
first
Disclaimer,
prank?
Disclaimer.
Do you remember?
What was the first prank? I honestly can't remember.
Too many to count.
Okay. All
There's
right.
so
Just
many.
a lot.
Yeah, just a lot. Like just constant pranks.
About half of them were Ollie, and half of them were the rest of the house
Yeah.
combined.
Yeah. But Josh and our friend Kit, they pulled a particularly cruel prank, which I think has left enduring emotional scars, psychological scars on me, which is they took an item of my clothing
Oh no.
from my wardrobe, one item a day for a couple of months.
Yeah.
And I like imperceivable, right?
Yeah.
That you and I was like, I just keep losing clothes,
Yeah.
right?
That's true.
And they thought that I was gonna
True.
realize that
At
that
some
they were
point,
doing
yeah.
it. But
As
I
you
just,
would.
I guess I don't have much faith in my ability not to lose things. And so I was like, oh man, I swear I used to have more underwear than this, or I swear I had. Where did that T-shirt go? And in the end, by the end, I had worn exactly the same outfit because it was the only clothes I had left, like T-shirt, trousers, underwear, socks, the same outfit for a week,
Oh my god.
right? And
Can I
I
clarify?
I would wash these things and wear a towel like naked,
Waiting
and
for it
then-
to dry.
waiting for it to dry, put it back on for a week until they're like, we have to tell him, right?
I think we started it in January, like beginning of January, and then it reached like March, and we were like,
He has no
holy
idea.
crap. We've been doing it like a couple of items of clothing per week for 3 months. And so we're like, okay, well, April 1st is coming. 4 months. We can't go longer than that.
Right.
The
Yeah.
guy's just wearing the same thing every day.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, that's funny, right?
Yeah.
But then it felt like just such an epic prank. I'd been so outdone,
Right.
right? I was like, how can I possibly get
How can y'all do it?
Josh back,
Right.
right? This is when I think we just need to provide some context that I was
I like that you've
19 years
built this
old.
up. I like that you've built this up. You've shown what we
I
did
didn't
to
know
you
much about the
first.
world. Would I do this
Yeah.
again? No, I wouldn't.
Probably not.
Am I proud of it? No, I'm not proud of it. I think not long after I did this thing that I'm about to tell you, I was ashamed of it, and I am ashamed of it to this day. I pooed on a plate and put it in Josh's bed.
I'm just glad you used a plate and didn't
Yeah.
poo straight on the bed.
Yeah. That's courteous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
There's also quite a lot of
Yeah.
skill involved in pooing onto a plate. It was a small plate. It was like this big.
Yeah, it was like a dessert plate. And
Oh man.
I just want to apologize to all of the listeners as well. I know you didn't know that this was going to happen when you started listening to this podcast. But anyway, I did that, and it's not my finest moment. But I can't escape the record.
No.
Anyway, fast forward
Yes.
2 years, graduating. I proposed to Lizzie, my girlfriend. We're
Right.
going to get married. And my mother-in-law knows me. right?
Right.
She knows what I'm like.
She doesn't know the details.
She doesn't know the details.
She just knows you.
She knows.
But she knows the kind of person that I am.
Right.
And so and in the UK, the tradition of the best man is that he gives a speech that embarrasses the groom.
Right.
Right. That's
I don't know if it's the same in the States.
Kind of, but like...
In the UK, a lot of places, there's like a real heavy emphasis on embarrassing.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know,
All right.
This is your last chance to like reveal all the dirty secrets before the groom gets married.
So my mother-in-law writes to Josh and Kit that they were joint best men and says, I know what Ollie's like. I don't want any of the family members to get upset. You must send me your best man speeches before the wedding day. Right? And they tell me this and I'm like, this is censorship. This isn't right.
This is not a democracy.
Yeah, this is
a dictatorship.
This does not set a good precedent for my marriage. Right? So what would be the best solution is that I will write the most incendiary best man speech I can possibly think of, pressing every conceivable button that she has, and send it off from their email account. I suppose as a prank on my mother-in-law, which again, in hindsight, seems like a pretty bold thing to do.
Before
like
the marriage, particularly.
Before I'm marrying her daughter. But anyway, I write this speech and it's just like unbelievably offensive, like 100 times worse than
anything conceivable.
Anything. Like it's like no one would read this in front of relatives. It's unbelievable. And the climax of this speech was the line, again, I'm writing in Josh's voice. He defecated on a plate and left it in my bed. Right?
Sounds like something I would say.
And this is the man your daughter is marrying.
Oh my gosh.
Josh at the time was in China because he had gone back to be with his family over the summer break.
I didn't even see the email.
He didn't see the email. He's not involved in this. He's not involved in this whole scenario at all. He comes back for the wedding 2 days before, and I think we went out. Probably. We went out.
Probably.
We were busy, and, you know, one thing led to another. Day of the wedding, he hasn't written a best man speech.
That's not what happened.
That is what Kit says happened.
Yeah, Kit is...
Why would he lie? Why would he lie?
He has a lot to lie for.
And it's proved by the facts, which are Josh finds lying around our house this beautifully written, but
I didn't find it. Kit had it.
Very offensive best man speech that Ollie had written as a joke. And he's like, I don't need to write a best man speech. I can just read this verbatim.
Right? Sounds like a great idea.
No.
So he stands up and he reads a speech that I have handcrafted to be the most offensive speech to my relatives as a joke. He reads it to all of my relatives. My grandfather leaves early.
Yeah, I mean, okay.
I remember.
Right,
your grandmother left early.
Deathly silence. Deathly silence.
We need to give a context as well, because Ollie's wedding, Ollie and his wife are from quite like traditional English backgrounds.
Proper.
So the wedding was a very traditional English affair, which means like 80% of the audience are over like 50, 60 years old.
Yeah.
A lot of old relatives.
Yeah.
A lot of old relatives.
And you...
But you're distorting the story. I don't know if this is Kit's like influence of what he's told you, or if I remember you have remembered the story this way for a while.
Yeah.
But that's not how it went down.
Okay.
How it went down
the record,
is
Mr. Carrot.
Me and Kit planned our speeches from a long time before the wedding. A month before the wedding, before I went to China, we had our speeches like rough planned out.
Okay.
And his role was to be the English, I'm gonna embarrass you guy.
Okay.
Whereas me and you, we had like a bit more of a, you know, a brotherly, a bit of a spiritual relationship. Mm-hmm. You know, we went to church together. You had mentored me personally through a lot of stuff in my life.
I put it on a plate and put it in your bed.
Yeah, I mean that was supposed to be Kit's job to tell the prank story. I was supposed to tell the emotional, heartwarming story
that I wrote and decided not to change it.
So I gave, I don't know if you remember this, well you clearly don't, but I gave a speech which was about 90%, it was the speech that I'd written. emotional.
Okay.
It was the story of how you had mentored me.
Okay.
And, you know, how much of a good brother you had been to me through this, and how, you know, Lizzie's lucky to be marrying this man. But like 5 minutes before we went up to give our best men speech, me and Kit were talking, and Kit was like, have you seen that audience? Everyone has grey hair. Yeah. They're all old. They're all respectful, respectable people.
He's right. He was right.
Ollie, we can't say any of this stuff. He was supposed to give the embarrassing stories.
So he had taken my speech.
No, there was the line, the ending line.
Okay.
About defecating on a plate.
Yeah.
He was supposed to tell that story.
Okay.
But he bailed on it. He completely changed. He only kept the nice bits of his speech that he'd written beforehand. Took out all of the embarrassing stuff.
Can I just point out how Josh is reframing this, and he is the hero in this scenario?
I was doing
the knight in
you know what I was doing? I was doing what you had taught me to do.
Washington Post, like, democracy dies in darkness. I will tell the story
I
of
grew up in
defecating on a
China.
plate.
I didn't know what a best man speech is supposed to be.
Okay.
So I had no context for it. I went in being
gosh.
terrified. It's the first time I was a best man. Also the last time I was a best man. But it was the first time I was a best man. And I didn't know what to do. So I'd talked to you for years before. You told me, oh, you know, if you're ever going to be the best man at a wedding, you need to tell some embarrassing stories. You told me the stories that you had heard at weddings. They were horrifying.
Yeah.
Genuinely terrifying. Some of the stuff, oh my goodness. Stripping the groom naked on his stag do, his bachelor party, like throwing him out on the street, making him run home nude. I don't know, whatever. Anyway.
These are exaggerations.
Oh, really? Really? Okay. Private stories coming to public. You mean, okay. Anyway, so you told me this. That was my only understanding of what a best man was supposed to do. So then when Kit bailed, I was like, Ollie is the prank instigator. He's also the first one to get married, so... Right. You know, he's kind of getting off easy, but we can't just let him get away with all the mischief he's caused in uni. So I took that ending line, specifically the line, and I think I mentioned a couple of other pranks we talked about to build it up. It didn't really matter. The only thing anyone remembered from my entire speech was that I said Ollie had pooped on a plate. Yeah. And I remember saying that line. And the whole room just going completely silent. In your defense, though, it did happen. It did. It did happen. It did. And I did make up with my my grandfather eventually.
Thank God.
I do feel terrible now about this because looking back, I'm like, what? How was that necessary? That was not a necessary story to tell to relatives.
Exactly. You know.
Exactly.
I was young. I thought, we didn't talk about the ICL.
See, like there are worse things.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know.
Well, pooping on a plate, I think was the worst.
I can't believe you got to tell that story, Eric.
Yeah. So that happened.
I've thought about that story multiple times.
I had that.
I think actually when we told you about that in Hungary, I was like, Eric, if I tell you the story, you cannot tell anyone. And we just told it on your podcast.
The internet knows.
Yeah. All right. I mean, I'm serious.
Away.
If you want, retrospectively, we could take it out. But I was like,
yeah, it's in now. I mean, it's been said.
It's been said. Every time your photo or something comes up, I'm like, I can't believe I know the story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, now a lot more people are going to think that when they see me.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Which, but.
Oh my gosh.
He has a deeper side to him, and he has a poop on a plate side to him.
Yeah. And, I mean, people,
the full package.
There are multiple sides to humans.
Exactly.
Exactly. Like you have your deep side, your super depressive, serious history side. Yeah. You got your religious side. You have the casually defecating on a plate side.
Exactly.
Everybody has,
I'm a little worried people are going to speculate that I'm a psychopath on the basis of this. All the signs were there.
Yeah.
No way.
I can testify he's not a psychopath.
Oh my gosh.
But that happened. I do regret telling that story.
You know what?
How was my best man
the
speech
responses.
For you?
How was that? Did you get back? Did you get back at him for that at all?
The thing is, I tactically postponed getting married for about 8 years.
Yeah.
After you did, maybe.
for that reason.
So everything
So
passed.
we were like, Ollie was like 30 by the time I got married. Not quite. Almost. And so he has more of a conscience by that point. He has a more developed moral compass.
Yeah.
Right.
And so he realized it's probably not best to bring up all the old pranks.
All of Josh's relatives love me.
They do.
On the
It's true.
basis of
It's
that
true.
speech.
Right.
I don't really talk to any of Ollie's relatives. No, I burnt that bridge. Burn it hard.
It's still burning.
Yeah.
It's still burning.
burning.
Yeah.
Love
Smoking
They haven't
and-
managed to put it out yet.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
One
I
day.
genuinely sweat when I hear about that story.
You got visibly red.
I remember the like embarrassment of being like, what have I done?
Was this in a church or like a
No,
like
it was thankfully it wasn't
It was
in a
worse.
church. It was in a on
There was like 300 people there. I don't know.
In a
so many
field.
people. So
yeah.
with
So
300?
Through a microphone
Relatives.
with like feedback.
Oh my gosh.
There's in our like wedding photo album
Yeah.
you can mark it's like it's like AD BC, you know? It's like before the pooping on a plate story, everyone's smiling,
loving it.
and then afterwards, like everyone over the age of 40 is like,
furious, just drinking a lot of wine.
yeah.
Trying to forget.
Thank you for sharing this amazing
Yeah,
story.
Pleasure.
You're very, very
Anything for
welcome.
you, Eric.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Well, on that note, we're gonna wrap it. That's all you need to know about these guys.
There you go.
No. In all seriousness, thank you so much for joining us on
Thank you for having us.
this subpar show.
No,
I still
it's
think
been
you guys are
great.
dope.
Oh,
That's good. That's
And thank you for sharing such wonderful stories. Anything you want to say to listeners or where they can find you and more of your amazing content?
good. Wow.
I don't know.
Yeah.
What do we want to say?
Just on the YouTubes.
Yeah, Korean Englishman, Jolly.
Jolly. If you
Follow
want
me
kinda-
on Instagram, Ollie
Yeah.
Kendall.
Ooh,
You
okay.
don't have to follow Josh. He's got more followers than me.
Okay, yeah. Just
Um,
even it out.
Yeah, be good to even the balances a little bit. None of the pooping on a plate ends up on Instagram.
Good.
It's true.
I'll probably
yeah.
get banned.
Completely censored.
Yeah.
We put a blur on it if it's there.
It's just not there. It's just
not there.
Okay,
Yeah.
just saying for the future.
In case.
Anyway, yeah, find us. Well, follow us on Jolly. Jolly is kind of this kind of vibe.
Yeah.
We tell some stories like that. We actually made a video watching back some of our old videos from uni on Jolly. So if you want to see those,
I gotta watch that.
yeah,
Yeah.
check it out on Jolly. And nice to meet you all through our voices in a podcast.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty much it, you guys. Please go ahead and subscribe and review and rate the show on Apple Podcasts, on wherever you get your shows. You guys can watch the videos and keep up with all the new content on Dive Studios. And this is where it gets really interesting. We're going to ask you to improvise a jingle to outro us.
A jingle.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And we're just going to wrap it. But thank you so much, Jolly. I'm
That
not going to
feels
say
like
a
literally the
single
most awkward
word.
thing we could do.
That's great. I mean, you're slightly more musical than me, so I'm just going to lean heavily on your raw musical
I
Talent.
love this. Immediately just
Pure
putting
talent.
all responsibility
Straight
to
under the
something.
bus.
Okay. What do we want to do?
Well, it should have the name of the podcast.
Okay, this has been dope.
I think you are dope. No? You want to just say this has been dope? I mean, it has been. It
Or
has been. Very dope.
hopefully we're still dope.
Wow. Sounds like the lyrics of a song waiting to
Yeah.
happen.
Oh man. So much pressure.
What's the melody? We should steal a melody from a famous song.
I'm so excited for this.
I don't want to do that.
Okay. Okay.
Ollie's all about
Are you gonna
being
improv
creative.
one?
You know?
Yeah, I don't
Do
know.
it.
Like this is my final hope that we're still dope.
Ooh, rhymes.
Wow.
Bars. Bringing out
This is
bars.
the most creative somebody's
Yeah?
gotten.
Oh really?
Yeah.
What? Okay.
Yeah.
This is my final hope sounds like the beginning of the Leia message to R2D2
Okay.
/ Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah. We're really dragging it on.
I like it.
Okay.
This is my final hope.
That we're still dope.
Hey guys, did you guys like that video? Then make sure you guys subscribe to Dive Studios YouTube channel and put your notifications on because we got a lot more great content coming your way. Look at this video. See? Wow. Wow. And this is great too. Enjoy.